What's up, guys? Welcome to my replay viewers. Thank you guys so much for jumping in and checking out my broadcast. Sorry I missed you live, but so glad you guys took some time to check it out. What is up to my live crew this morning? Great to see y'all this morning. So glad to have you here. I appreciate y'all coming in to hang out with me on this Tuesday morning. Paul, what's up, my man? Thanks for coming in, buddy. Brian, good morning to you. Alex and Tracy, I see you. Great morning to you. Maria, thanks for coming in. Nice to see you as well, and good morning. I hope y'all had a great weekend. Hope you had a great long weekend. Celebrating the 4th of July. Those guys that are in the States, I appreciate you coming back in one piece and hanging out with me right off first thing this morning. Jackie, good morning to you. We're going to talk today about kind of a challenging, kind of a sore subject, which is why are startup coaches broke? I want to give you some stuff. Hopefully I can give you some clarity today to help you realize some things that you might be doing wrong. I've been here, y'all. Listen, I've been a coach now for 6 years, and I've been through the seasons where it's like, why can I not generate cash flow? Why can I not make more money in this business? Because really what it boils down to, can we just talk about this for a second? Really what it boils down to is I know I'm good at what I do. Like, how many of y'all would say that about yourself? Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Jamie. Like, do you know you're good at what you do? I do. I'm really good at what I do. I know I'm good at what I do. I know that God has given me a very specific gifting and a very specific set of expertise and knowledge. And I know that if people just give me the opportunity to work with them, that I could absolutely change their life. And so you go through this season. Let me just start preaching right at you. All right. You go through the season when you're like, you believe so wholeheartedly in what you do, and you know so fully what you're capable of. Why the heck can other people not see that? And it's like, I went through this for so long, and it just really drove me crazy. Like, and then you see other people. You see other people in your industry and other people in your world and other people in your sphere of influence where you're like, you see them making it and you see them doing what you want to do, and they're acquiring the clients and getting the gigs and doing the things. And you're like, what am I missing? Why can they and I can't? I want to unpack this today. All right. I'm going to give you 5 things today that I believe are the 5 reasons why so many coaches are struggling to generate consistent cash and acquire clients. Get your pen, get your paper, get your favorite morning beverage. Cheers and good morning to you. I'll be right back with you. Hang tight. All right, y'all. Justin Kaplan Pro is my name. JustinKaplanPro.com is my website. I'm a startup business mentor and a branding strategist that specializes in helping startup entrepreneurs just like you, amazing, beautiful people, take your gifting, your passion, your idea, and turn that into a profitable and scalable brand, leveraging the power of social media marketing. If you are new to me, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I appreciate all of y'all, even if you're not new to me. Like, thanks for coming in on a Tuesday. After a holiday weekend, you decided not to sleep in today. You decided to show up for yourself and for me today. I appreciate it. Sherry's got her pen and paper. She's ready to go. I hope your morning beverage is delicious. Cheers and good morning to you. And for all you guys who may be here for the first time on whatever platform you're watching or listening on, welcome, and we're glad you're here. Let's talk about this topic today, shall we? We're talking about, what am I talking about? I'm talking about 5 reasons why most startup coaches are broke. And what you need to do different, what you need to change. All right. I'm going to give you some statistics real quick, y'all, because I want to just kind of set this up the way I want to set this up. All right. So first of all, let me just tell you a couple things. First of all, the life coaching industry is the fastest growing industry in the world with an average yearly growth of 6.7%. Okay. Now, when I'm talking about the life coaching industry is the fastest growing industry, I'm not saying that the life coaching industry, meaning that there's lots of people flooding in to become coaches. We're not averaging a 6.7% growth of new coaches every single year. We're averaging a 6.7% average yearly growth of revenue every single year. It's the fastest growing financial increasing revenue industry in the world. Coaching is a tremendously lucrative and valuable industry. And if you're becoming a coach, just became a coach, working on advancing yourself as a coach, you're in an excellent industry in the right decade, in the right year, in the right season, in the right time. Okay. Life coaching is a spectacular industry to be in. So if you are the slightest bit like hesitant, like maybe there's just too many coaches, maybe just blank, 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 whatever that is. If you're doubting yourself that you could even do this, wrong. You are in a great industry that's rapidly growing. Globally, the number of coaches went up 33% from 2016 to 2020. So over 4 years, coaches are flooding the industry. So there is more competition than there ever was before. It's because it's a lucrative industry. The demand for coaches, however, is still trending upwards, and the overall coaching industry is expected to keep growing at a pace of 5 to 6% growth rate over the next 3 years. So not only have we averaged 6.7% growth currently, we are expected to pace at about 6% over the next 3 years. And life coaching and business coaching are the top two performers at nearly 7% every year. So if you're a life coach or a business coach, those are top performers. But health coaching is there, healing. I mean, any kind of coaching where you work with another individual or you work with a company and you provide knowledge in exchange for results, that's coaching. Okay. The coaching industry rose from, listen, this is crazy to me. The coaching industry rose from 707 million in 2011, 10 years ago, to 15 billion by the end of last year. 10 years. Like 10 years ago, coaching really wasn't a thing. The only people that were coaching were like, like you're crazies, like Brendon Burchard and Tony Robbins, people that have been in there and they're there, and that, like the life coaching industry was this massive thing. I say I couldn't get into that. Wrong. You could absolutely get into it. 15 billion. That's 15 billion in revenue annually in 1 year. $15 billion. What that means is that's $15 billion that consumers spent on anything to do with coaching. That's books, seminars, workshops, conferences, programs, actual one-on-one coaching, anything to do where it's like, basically, I need help and I want to hire someone to help me. I want to buy your book. I want to buy your program. I want to buy your coaching services. I want to go to your conference. I want to go to your retreat. $15 billion was spent in 2020, which was a COVID year, right? And I think for my personal belief, I think COVID actually amplified it, because I think a ton of people were in corporate jobs, or there so much was disrupted and rattled from their regular work life. They realized, I want to take control of my own life. I want to take control of my own finances. I want to figure out how to start my own business, or I want to take control of my health in a season, or I want to take control of my finances. And so we will reach out to coaches to coach them on their marriages and their finances and their businesses and their health and their whatever, because they were in a season where they couldn't really do anything else. So they decided to focus on what can I do with what I can do at home. And that's what they did. I think it was huge for last year. Lastly, 40%, this is interesting. 40% of all Fortune 500 companies include executive coaching as a part of their standard leadership training for top executives and best performers. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was pretty cool. So basically what I'm telling you is that coaching is a tremendously lucrative industry. It's a tremendously valuable industry to be a part of, and the growth potential is huge. So why the heck are so many coaches struggling to generate cash and acquire clients? That's the questions that I want to answer today. So I'm going to give you 5 things I'm going to go through today. All right. 5 points. I'm just thinking about what are the things that I see most common that my people are struggling with, and what do we need to do instead? All right. The first one I'm going to give you as I take a drink of my coffee. Cheers and good morning to y'all. Number 1 is you're selling coaching, not results. You're selling coaching, not results. That's number 1. This is the thing you got to realize, all right? People who haven't experienced coaching services don't understand them. Have you guys had this experience where you're trying to, maybe you're talking to a potential, maybe you're trying to talk to a potential client or someone, and you're trying to help them understand what it would be like to work with you, and you just feel like you're talking to a deer in the headlights. Like it's not connecting. And it's because people don't I'm going to say most people, if they have never worked with a coach before, they don't understand coaching services. So the problem that I see a lot of us coaches have is I see a lot of people getting into this kind of language and rhythm of marketing or teaching or sharing where you are speaking to your audience as if they understand what you do and how you do it. Most don't. And honestly, most of the people that you're trying to attract to actually become your clients are the ones that have never worked with a client or worked with a coach before. So if you're trying to attract someone who desperately needs help and really is the right person for you to connect with and serve, you got to speak to them on their level, not yours. And when you try to convince someone that coaching is a valuable service, you essentially have to make 3 sales, not just one. All right, 3 sales. So the first sale you got to make is you got to, first of all, you got to convince them that coaching is actually valuable and that it actually works. The second sale you got to make is you got to convince them that it will solve whatever problems that they have. So despite whatever they have tried in the past to get past whatever problem they have, you've got to convince them also that coaching is what it's going to take to get them past that barrier that they've been trying to get past. That's your second sale. And then the third sale you got to make is you got to convince them that you are the best coach for them. Sherry said, I learned this at our retreat from all of our masterminds. Thank you for this reminder. I love that, Sherry. Thank you so much, buddy. So again, I'm going to say this because I really want, this is probably one of the biggest points I want to make today, is that when you try to convince someone that coaching is a valuable service, you've got to speak on their level. You got to convince them that coaching is valuable. You got to convince them that it will solve their problems. And you got to convince them that you are the best person to coach them. That's a lot of selling. And the problem is, since most coaching entrepreneurs, I'm going to call us coaching entrepreneurs because we're business owners, entrepreneurs that have coaching or specialize. Some of us specialize in coaching. Some of us offer coaching as a portion of our product or service. However that looks for you. You're a coaching entrepreneur. Most coaching entrepreneurs aren't professionally trained and aren't naturally comfortable with sales. I mean, can we just be honest? Does anybody that's watching this love sales? Like, put a yes in the chat stream if you love sales. Or is it a no? No. I hate selling. I hate it, which is why I am not a salesman. I do not sell stuff for a living. I serve people for a living. I had to figure that out for myself. And this is why I'm talking about this, because I spent 15 years in corporate business. I used to run multi-million-dollar businesses. I had sales teams and managers and all the things. And I have been, over 15 years of being in corporate, I have been through every sales training you can imagine. I know all the techniques. I know all the tricks. I know how to say, what to say, when to say it, where to say it. I know all the things. I hate selling. I hate it. So while I have been trained to look for triggers and see opportunities and know what to say and overcome objections and all the things, when I got into being an entrepreneur and I got into, trying to be a service provider for my people, early on, I was trying to adapt my sales techniques to my marketing, and I was trying to become a salesman. Not intentionally. I was just trying to leverage what I had learned and what I knew to close more sales. And what was happening was that it was shutting me down. I was struggling. I was becoming too salesy for a while. And I remember going through a season where I had some growth and I had some stuff happening, and there was things that was like a light at the end of the tunnel. And I was like, all right, I'm actually going to make this. This is going to work. I'm actually going to survive in this. I can actually do this. And there was a lot of good happening. And then I hit a wall. And this is in 2016. Those guys that know my story, 2016 was the hardest year of my life by far across the board. Okay. This was April 2016. I remember like it was yesterday. April 2016, I went 30 days without closing one sale. Not one. And that was after I had already experienced some wins. To remind you, I started broadcasting February 2016. February and March were huge for me because live stream really was picking up and I was getting a lot of traction, a lot of attention, a lot of things were going well. I felt like this is it for me. Live streaming is it for me. I had 2 months of success and growth, and then I hit a wall in April, and I went 30 days without closing one sale. Now, some of y'all are like, well, Justin, I've gone months without closing one sale. I am the sole income earner of my home. I have 4 children. I lost my job, started a business, decided I was going to try to make something of myself and do it on my own. I went a month without making a dime when I was the sole provider of my house. Hard pill to swallow. Talk about freak out sessions. That's when you go into your wherever, your prayer closet or your car or your office or your bedroom, and you have some real honest what the heck is going on conversations with the Lord. And I had several of those conversations with the Lord in the month of April. And I'm like, and the thing is with me, again, going back to how I started this conversation, I have such a firm belief in what I do. God put me on this planet to do this, do what I do, because I'm good at it. It's my gifting. It leverages everything that I am, everything that I do, every gift that he's given me goes into what I do. I have such a belief in that. And so I'm like, Lord, you gave me this idea. This wasn't my idea. You told me go start your own business. And I'm like, I am doing everything that I know to do to survive. What is the problem? I went 30 days. I'm telling you this for a reason. I went 30 days of nothing. And there's a great quote by Charles Spurgeon that says, whenever the Lord means to make a man great, he often breaks him into pieces first. I got just destroyed that month. And I remember what happened to me in that month because it took me to such a place of desperation. I learned a whole bunch of stuff about what I was doing wrong because I had to focus on things elsewhere because it wasn't going well. And I got through that 30-day period, and I got to the end of the 30-day period, and I felt like I must have hit probably like the second or third week. I was like, all right, there's things I can't control and there's things that I can control. The things that I can control, I'm going to focus on that. I cleaned up my bookwork. I set up a filing system. I got coaching from a bookkeeper to tell me how I need to actually be structuring and managing my business. I reset my prices. I started working on building a website. I mean, I was doing all these things that I needed to do to position myself to be a business owner, not just a salesman. And I did all that in that month. And I got to the end of the month, and I remember having one last conversation with the Lord. I'm like, I was about ready to throw in the towel. Some of you guys know my story. I've been in business for 6 years, and I've almost quit 6 times. The first 4 times I almost actually, is it 4? 5 of the 6 times I almost quit were in the first 2 years. Almost quit 6 times. This was one of them. I got to the end of that 30-day period, and I said, Lord, I feel like I have done everything that I know to do. I feel like I've done everything I know to do. What else do I do? I don't know what else to do. I need you to tell me where to go from here. And I feel like the Lord just whispered in my ear so audibly that I could have friggin' recorded it and heard it again. He said, it's almost like the Lord just leaned down and put his hand on my back and said, Justin, stop selling and start serving people. I wrote it down immediately as soon as I heard it. Stop selling and start serving people. Wow. I was becoming a salesman. I was trying to sell for a living. And I'm like, it completely changed my focus, completely changed. Those guys that have followed me since the beginning, you would have seen a dramatic shift in me from April to May of 2016, because in May I decided every single day that I go out to do a broadcast, my mission is not to sell something today. My mission is to serve someone, serve one person today. I don't care how many people show up. If I have one person in the broadcast, I'm going to serve that one person to the best of my ability. So and I've shared this with you guys before. I'm going to keep hitting this home. I believe if you serve effectively, the sale happens naturally. You've got to cross that bridge with people where they see you as more as just someone who's trying to get their money for a session. And I don't want to get off track, so I'm going to get back to my points today. But that selling is such a big point, because so many of us feel like we're trying to be salespeople. We feel like we have to be salespeople. Most coaches and entrepreneurs are not comfortable selling. So I see so many people create programs and set up websites and set up branding, and they share content. But it gets to the point where, all right, now you're ready to actually get clients. They hit a wall. It's just a wall right there. Yeah, absolutely, Sherry. And Sherry asked the question, is a podcast serving? It's not a matter of the mechanism. It's a matter of what you're sharing and how. So some of you guys, it might be live broadcasting. Like what I'm doing right now is I'm serving you. I'm not trying to sell anything today. Is I see that there's an issue, see that there's a problem. I know that you have a frustration. I know some of you are trying really, really hard to generate consistent cash that can change your life and your world. And I see that there's things that are causing you problems. So I just outline that and I say, you know what? This is what I see is something that you're doing wrong. This is what I've done. This is what I've learned. And this is how I hope I can help you today. And I give you that information. That's serving people. Really, I think what it boils down to is serving versus selling is your intent. It's your intent when you bring yourself to the market. You bring yourself to the world. You allow people to experience you. Is my intent today to sell something to you, or is my intent to give something to you? My intent today is to give something for you. I serve you. That's how I go about my broadcast every single day. I honestly can't tell you the last time I went about any kind of content with the intention of trying to sell something. I don't sell stuff. That's why I tell people I don't sell stuff for a living. I serve people for a living. And I'm telling you this because it changed my world. And it not only changed my world and how I felt about what I was doing as a coach and as an entrepreneur, it also changed my bank account. Because the minute I stopped trying to sell stuff and the minute I stopped making money a focus, the money started coming way easier. And it's funny, it was maybe about 2 or 3 weeks after the Lord impressed upon me, stop selling and start serving. I'm like, my focus is going to be just to serve people and serve them well. And I shifted my focus. About 2 to 3 weeks roughly after that happened, I had someone reach out to me through Marco Polo and said they had a prophetic word for me. And they asked if they could send this prophetic word to me in a video. I said, absolutely. They sent me a prophetic word, and they had like 3 pages that the Lord had given them for me. They read me this prophetic word. But the resounding message in that prophetic word had the basis of, it was basically the less you pursue money, the more it'll pursue you. The less you want money, the more you have it. And I was like, I have become such a salesman where I'm just chasing dollar signs. I'm chasing money to pay my bills. And I'm like, I need to realize the Lord has given me a gift for a reason, and I need to be a good steward of it. And so I started focusing solely on my gift and my knowledge and trying to be as helpful to people as possible. And that's when clients started coming, and they started coming out of the woodwork. And it wasn't a matter of just clients, but it was also my fees started going up. And packages started coming to my mind, and things that I could create and things I could do to be helpful. So I'm telling you this because this is a place where so many people are stuck. And I think probably every one of us, just about everybody that's watching here live, said, I hate selling. I get it. I hate selling as well. I don't sell stuff for a living. I serve people for a living. I don't manipulate people. I don't coerce people. I don't try to convince people. My mission is you. I understand where you're at. I know I can help you. I am clear in how I communicate what I do and how I do it. And if you decide you want to hire me, awesome. Let's work together. This is what I cost. That's it. I appreciate that, Sherry. You rock, buddy. So let me do another cheers. Let's reset. Cheers and good morning. All right. That was kind of point number 1 plus a little extra. Okay. Number 2. Number 2 is you are selling by the hour or by the month versus by the program. All right. You're selling by the hour or by the month rather than by the program. It is common for coaches to sell coaching monthly or even sometimes just by session. This is the problem. If you're just selling coaching by the month or by the session, it will keep you in a cycle of financial struggle because it's nearly impossible for a potential client to evaluate what a month of coaching is worth. Because this is really what it boils down to. Your potential client will evaluate your coaching. If you say you're providing coaching for a monthly where they can pay you per session, they can pay you whatever that is, per session or per month. Your potential client will evaluate that based upon their expenses in their life, like a car payment. So they immediately associate, if your service costs more than my, say, car payment, then you're expensive. Like, that's more than my car payment. For those guys that may be really trying to collect premium fees, you may present my monthly fee for this is going to be X, and they're like, that's more than my mortgage. I have a house, and you cost more than my house. You cost more than my thing. So if you're offering things in a monthly or a bi-session format, it automatically triggers that person to think or relate, again, because people don't understand coaching. If they've never had a coach before, they can't possibly justify the value because they don't know what that value looks like. So the only thing they can relate it to is what they know, and what they know is the bills that they're paying. All right. Also, since a client often can't see their own upcoming breakthroughs in that amount of time, it's very possible for someone to hire you for 1 or 2 sessions or work with you for just a month and then be like, you know what? I just don't think this is for me. They give up too easily because they can't see the big picture. What the alternative is to this, excuse me, is having a program. I believe wholeheartedly that every coaching entrepreneur has got to have a signature program that is constructed and positioned in the right way so you can charge a premium fee and deliver that transformation that will really make the difference. Signature programs are not sold. I don't have a signature program that's just 5 sessions with you, or a signature program that's 3 months of working with me. The signature program is, these are the stages we're going to work through. These are the steps we're going to take. When you communicate a signature program, you shouldn't even really have to communicate how many sessions we're going to have, how many one-on-ones we're going to have, how many phone calls there's going to be. It's a matter of, this is my program. These are the stages I'm going to take you through. This is what we're going to work on together. And at the end of this, you are going to experience this. You are going to have this. It's going to do this for you. That is what they pay for. They pay for the end result. Anytime you sell by the hour or by the session or by the month, your potential client will lump you in with whatever other life expenses that they have each month. And if your fees exceed their average expenses, you are automatically viewed as too expensive. It's a cycle of the poverty mentality. And you'll be stuck there with them if you attempt to just keep your services in that monthly or that bi-session thing. Okay? That's number 2. Number 3 is you are uncomfortable with marketing and sales. You're uncomfortable with marketing and sales. Now, let me just approach this way. In some cases, this can be the curse of knowledge. I think for a lot of cases, it's the curse of knowledge. Okay? The curse of knowledge is basically your knowledge of what you do is so clear. Yeah, Sherry, I'm sorry. I'm just, I'm on my official point number 3, but you guys can have whatever points you want to take on this one. And I appreciate your notes, Sherry. Maybe somebody should reach out to Sherry for her notes because she's got good notes this morning. All right, let me get back to this. The curse of knowledge is when you are so comfortable and confident with what you do and how you do it and what the Lord has done in your life and what he has taught you, it's easy to assume that others can see and understand what you do. Don't get trapped there. Again, you've got to speak to your audience on their level, not yours. Just because something comes easy for you does not mean that it comes easy for them. Just because something is clear and simple for you to understand does not mean it's clear and simple for them to understand, right? So there can become a knowledge gap between you and your clients, and it can feel like you're not communicating when you're trying to do marketing or when you're trying to do videos or when you're trying to do podcasts. It might feel like, man, I'm putting out all this great information, or I'm doing this great stream or this great podcast or this great post, and I'm not getting engagement. A huge reason why you may not be getting engagement is because you may be speaking above them, not to them. This is hard for everybody. And I think it becomes just harder and harder the better and better you get at what you do. And I'll tell you this: one of the number one things one of the number one, I'm going to say, areas or avenues that I see people making mistakes in their marketing alone is titles, content titles, the title of your broadcast, the title of your podcast, the title of your post, the title of your blog. That title has got to speak to what they desire. It's got to speak to what they know. I mean, sometimes I see titles, I'm like, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. Nobody knows what that means, right? The titles are what bring people in and give them the opportunity to experience you. All right. So, I don't want to get off track, but this is an important piece to understand. You've got to make sure that however you are communicating and however you are engaging with your audience, that you are speaking to them, not above them. And if you don't like feeling salesy, like none of us do, you're going to want to, your tendency with marketing, I want to say this the right way. When we don't like being salesy or feeling salesy, you do videos, you do content, you do podcasts, you put things out there, but when you're not getting engagement, the natural feeling is, I'm being salesy. I need to back off. When you don't need to back off. You need to press forward. You need to press deeper. You need to give more value. You need to be more specific. You need to be more intentional. This is where that feeling of I don't want to be salesy hurts you, because people tend to, when I feel like I'm being salesy, I feel like I'm putting too much of myself out there, I need to back off. No, you need to step deeper into them. You need to step farther into them. You need to stop speaking to 100 and speak to one. You need to look for one person in your broadcast that you really feel and just start talking to that one person and be like, girl, you need to do this. This is what you got going on. This is what is going to change your world. Lean into them. Don't pull back. That feeling of I'm being salesy will affect you if you don't recognize that. All right? Very important. I really want you to get that. Okay? Very, very important. Speak to the one, Sherry. All right. So again, you're uncomfortable with marketing sales. The biggest piece that I give on this is, again, with your marketing, make sure that you're speaking to them, not above them. You're speaking their language. And when you're struggling with engagement and you're not getting enough connection, don't pull back thinking, well, they're sick of seeing me, or they're sick of hearing me, or they're sick of watching me. Rather, they want you to speak to them. I think if I put myself in their position, I'm thinking, maybe I haven't engaged with you because I feel like people have told me, well, Justin, I didn't reach out to you right away because I just know you're so busy. Justin, I didn't reach out to you right away because I was a little bit intimidated by you. Justin, I wasn't, I didn't reach out to you right away because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, and I wanted to have all the answers before I talked to you. These are things that I've heard from the other end, So if that, Paul has no problem reaching out, but I'm like, but that's common, y'all. So I want you to get this. When you're putting yourself out there, you're putting your marketing out there, you're putting your content out there, and they're not, if people aren't connecting with you, or they're connecting with you only on the surface, the reasons that they are probably not going deeper with you and reaching out to you have to do with them, not you. That's why you have to lean in. Because when you lean into them, I can realize, you know what? I can see that I know that you're probably wanting to take a step forward, but you're procrastinating. Let's talk about 5 things that procrastination will do to your life and business if they continue. And I'm going to tackle procrastination, and I'm going to go after that. I'm going to lean into you and realize that you are procrastinating. I can't tell you the number of times. This is secret sauce. I better take a drink of my coffee real quick. Lean in, y'all. Listen, I cannot tell you the number of times that I have created broadcast for one person. Some of them are in this room, I think. Where I know I can feel like I'm at a place with a certain person where I'm just like, they're so close. I feel like I've got such good rapport with them. I feel like they're so close. And I feel like, you know what? That person is struggling with doubt. They're doubting their gift. They're doubting their potential. They don't believe it's possible for them. If I can just tackle that. Sherry, girl, we've been together forever. It probably is. Who knows? But I'm like, if I can just tackle doubt with that person, they're going to move. And I'm like, I'm going to do a broadcast tomorrow on how to overcome doubt and limiting beliefs in your life when you're trying to be an entrepreneur. And I'm going to do a broadcast. I'm going to speak straight to you. And I'm going to talk to you. I don't care who else is listening. I'm talking to you. And I've done that so many times because I'm constantly looking for what do my people need and what is causing them to stop. Again, when people aren't connecting to you, it's probably has more to do with them than it does with you. Tony, buddy, I love yo-yos, man. I'm good at yo-yos, so it's okay, buddy. All right. That's number 3. I think I made my point on that one. I'm telling y'all, when you realize you don't have to be a salesman, when you realize you don't have to be a salesman and all you have to do genuinely every single day is just to serve people, I just can't tell you how much it takes the pressure off. Like, it really does take the pressure off. Can anybody relate to this? I mean, man, it's just it makes what you do fun, because it really should be fun. You should be enjoying it. I love sharing content. I love teaching. I love connecting to new people. I love knowing that I'm helpful. I love my gift. I love what I do, and I love being able to share it with you. I love being able to be helpful for you. That's why I say when I broadcast that my mission is to get you thinking differently, acting differently, and believing differently than you would have if you would not otherwise hung out with me on this Tuesday morning. That's my mission, is to change your world. I absolutely believe that I'm a world changer because every single day I create ripples in every one of your lives. I'm creating ripples in your lives today. If I can get you thinking differently, acting differently, and believing differently today than you would have, I just created ripples in your life, and you're going to do things differently today because of me. And then people around you are going to experience that, and you're going to have the ripple effect on them, and so on and so forth. That is a world-changing concept. You have the opportunity to do that every day. Every single thing that you step fully into your gifting, you put your fully gifted pants on and you get out and you share yourself with the world, and you allow them to experience the very best of what the Lord planted inside of you. Think about the impact that you're making in the world around you every day. It should give you chills realizing that I get to go and press a button and talk to a whole bunch of amazing, world-changing, gifted individuals today that are taking their valuable time at 8 o'clock in the morning to hang out with me and listen with me and talk to me. Be a good steward of that, y'all. All right. Number 4. I got 5 for you today. We're going to do number 4, okay? Number 4. Cheers and good morning, y'all. Number 4, reason why you may be struggling to generate cash flow in your business is because you have an uninspiring brand. Ouch. Justin just threw a shoe at me. Listen, many coaches believe their work will sell itself if they're good enough. Maybe. I've heard people say, I've heard, coaches and influencers say, with my aggressive air quotes, you don't need branding to have a business. You don't need a logo, and you don't need business cards. You don't need a website. Just go out there and do what you do. Specialize in what you specialize in, because when you're good, they'll see it and they'll hire you. I agree. Listen, hold on. You're like, wait, Justin, aren't you? Listen, I agree that you can build a business without branding. I do believe that you can actually attract clients without a website and without great brand recognition. I agree with that. But I 1000% disagree that it is not a subliminal expectation of your audience, because it 1000% is. Your audience expects you to look and act like a business. And the more you look and act like a legitimate business, the more they will treat you like one and pay you like one. Somebody want to put agree in the chat stream? It is an expectation. Have you ever, I mean, if you had $5,000 to spend and you were looking for a transformation in your life and you started digging in and looking for someone, would you spend $5,000 on someone that had no testimonials, no website, no brand recognition? All they had is some Facebook posts on Facebook, some videos, maybe some YouTube content. I wouldn't, because my first thought would be, if you haven't taken the time to invest in yourself to build what you say is your business, why would I invest in you? It's an expectation of your audience. So the problem is, let me give you an interesting story. There was a study that was conducted where a group of participants were split into two groups, and they were asked how much they thought a pair of gold earrings would cost. They were given the same set of gold earrings and same set, nice looking pair of gold earrings, nothing crazy, just a nice looking pair of gold earrings. The same group got this pair of gold earrings, same group over here got the same set of gold earrings. Group number one was told that the earrings were purchased at Target. The second group was told that the earrings were purchased at Tiffany's, world-renowned jeweler. And the groups were asked to decipher what they believed the earrings would cost. The difference between what the groups determined that the earrings would probably cost was 10 times higher with the Tiffany's group versus the Target group. That is the value of a brand. It was the same earrings, exact same earrings. It's called perspective. If you have a brand that looks uninspiring or looks low rent, you will not be able to charge what you and your work deserve. This is what happens with branding. When you get your branding right, the whole idea of a brand is not about just having a flashy logo or a great color scheme or a sleek marketing pitch. It's about positioning. It's about perspective. People will interact with you based upon their perception of you. If you look and act like a first-class business owner, they will treat you like one and they will pay you like one. If you look and act like someone who's barely scraping by and just trying to figure it out and doesn't really have their act together and is just trying to try this entrepreneur thing, they will treat you like that, and they will or will not pay you like that. Branding is about perspective. People will interact with you based upon their perspective of you. All right. If your brand looks low rent, you're going to expect to collect the low rent. All right. That's very important. Very important. Last one. Number 5, and I'm going to get you out of here. All right. Number 5 is you might experience money confusion about helping versus being a business, being a servant versus being a business. This is tricky. People struggle with this. I hear people all the time, Justin, how much do I give away? What about the people that are used to me giving it for free? Blah, blah, blah. Pricing and charging, while there are strategic ways to talk about them, they still remain big emotional issues for most entrepreneurs. You wouldn't have gone into business unless you wanted to help people, I don't think. I mean, because business is about people. I think everybody that's in here watching this has a desire to serve and to help people in some way. I'm thinking about all these faces, all these people that I see, and the things that you do, and the gifts that you have, and the passions that you have to do what the Lord has called you to do. Right? I don't believe you would have gone into business unless you really truly wanted to help people. I tell people all the time, if you're starting a business because your core motivation is money, find something else to do. Because there's a lot easier ways to make money than being an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship, and especially coaching entrepreneurship, is not about the money. It's about your gift, and it's about the people that you serve. Now, there's the lifestyle that comes with it, and the freedom that comes with it, and the ability to do what God has called you to do and designed you to do, and all the things that come with that. But you got into business to help people. So the problem that comes with this is that people get in this rhythm of, Justin, I started a business because I want to serve people. So I struggle with charging them, especially charging them premium fees when what you really want to do is help. Can anybody relate to that? I mean, this is a struggle. So this is how I look at it. Because the one of the things I really have to coach my people on is your fees got to go up. Your prices got to go up. I mean, when you are all right, so let's say, let me just say this. If you develop a program, and maybe you're at the starting point of this program, and maybe this program is a 3-month program where you're going to take people through 3 different stages. You're going to do this, 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 and this. You're going to deliver them to this end result. But the process has never been tried and true. It's never been tested yet. So maybe that 3-month process, you start that 3-month process out, and you're going to sell it to a beta group for, say, $497, $500. Okay. You do a beta group, 10 people. 10 people go through it, $500 each. You make $5,000. That's a nice investment. Let's go and let's take them through. Those 10 people go through, and it changes their life. It changes their life completely. And you get testimonials from that. And I mean, the people are like, they're telling you what it does and how it helped them. All right, now you've got 10 testimonials. All right. And so you got that 3-month program. Now you're going to relaunch that 3-month program again in another couple months. The price does not stay at $500. The price goes up because now you have testimonials of what it does. Now it's $697 or $897, or now it's $997. Maybe the next time it's $997. Another 10 people. Now you made $10,000 for 3 months, and you go 3 months, and you do it again. Now you get another testimonials, more transformation. Every single time you exercise your business muscle, you work with people, you get testimonials, you do your thing. Every single time you do your thing, you get better. Every single time someone hires me for coaching and I coach you for a year, or I build another website, or I do another brand, or I take someone through another season, every time I do it, I'm better. Every person I coach makes me better. Every season I go through, I get better. So I am more expensive today than I was last year. I am more expensive today than I was 2 years ago. I am more expensive now than I was 3 months ago because I'm better today than I was 3 months ago. I have more knowledge to give, more resources to give, more content to share. You get better. You are growing upwards. Your pricing goes with that. And every single time you have testimonials to go with that, your price goes up. And the problem is people are like, well, Justin, I just want to serve people. I get that. But the life experience that you're giving them, the testimonial that you're giving them, the transformation that you're giving them is worth way more than you working for pennies. So this is the problem, is you experience money confusion about helping versus being a business owner. And this is how I look at it. And this is what helps me cross this bridge. All right. I set all that up because I want you to realize that, yeah, I'm speaking to you, all of you, some of you more than others. The client's investment in the process, or the client's investment in the system, is what creates commitment to take action. We have all experienced this. If you are a coach and you've had any kind of client whatsoever, they got to have skin in the game. Transformation does not work without commitment on the part of the client. So when you're charging higher prices, or you have a higher ticket program, that is one of the best ways to create that commitment. It has been proven over and over and over and over again that coaching people for free does not create the results that you or the client want. And coaching for peanuts doesn't accomplish it either. All right. You have got to realize that what really facilitates results, and what really gets people seeing and experiencing the transformation that you can absolutely facilitate, is when they have skin in the game and they are fully committed to the process. And people will not fully commit to a process that's free or cheap. I had an experience recently with cheap. What was that? I know what it was. Let me just give you this example, and I'm going to get you out of here. My wife and I are pregnant. We're very excited about this. We're having a baby. And so we just recently found out the gender. I almost said, I'm not going to say what I almost said. We recently found out the gender, so we know what the gender is. We're the only ones that know. And no, I'm not telling you, so don't even ask. We recently found out the gender. So we're having a gender reveal party this upcoming next weekend for our family. And, we're talking about our family. Our family's like, aren't gender reveal parties, aren't they like, isn't that where you like they know and you surprise the couple? Yeah, no. Nobody's gonna know who our kid is before we do. So we know who the child is, and we are going to reveal it to our family in a very fun way. So we're gonna have a gender reveal party on Sunday, and we got all these people coming over. We're gonna have a big party, and it's gonna be super fun. I'm like, I want to hire a photographer. Because this is gonna be such a fun day. It's gonna be such a fun thing. I want someone here to capture all the things and all the moments and all the stuff without me having to worry about having my camera out all the time. I'm like, so I'm going to hire a photographer. So I reached out and put feelers out to all the people that I know. I'm like, I need a photographer. I don't want an amateur. I want someone who's good at what they do, someone who's great at capturing moments, probably a wedding photographer. I want to find someone who's great at that can really do a great job. And so I put my resources out there, and all the people that I was trying to get were booked up. And so our community, the community we live in, we have a Facebook group, and we've got, I think, 800 people in our big residential community. That's just the people. So I put a post out, and I said, hey, community, do we have any photographers in our community that would be able and available this upcoming weekend to do photography for a gender reveal party? And I was getting, call this person. And this one lady posts, and she says, I'm a photographer, and I would love to shoot your party. And I'm like, I'll send you a message. So I send her the message. We go back and forth. I tell her what I'm looking for, what I want. And she's like, I can totally do that. I would love to do it. And we're connecting, and it sounds great. And I said, all right, please let me know what your fees are. And I was sitting there with Courtney. I'm like, this lady sounds great. I'm like, but the price she gives me is going to determine whether I hire her or not. I'm like, because if she comes back and says, oh, I can do all that for, I want her here for 3 hours. I gave her a timeline of when I want the pictures by. I told her what I want to shoot, how I want to shoot it. I'm very particular about the way I want things. So I gave her a strict outline, and I know in my mind what this should cost. And so I'm like, her price is gonna determine whether she gets the job or not. And Courtney's like, what do you mean? I'm like, if she comes back and says, I can do that for you for $75, I'll be like, no, thank you. I'm going to keep looking. Because if she thinks she can spend all that time for $75, she doesn't value her gift. And I don't want someone here who doesn't value their gift and know how good they are. I'm like, so we'll see what she says. And she came back. She's like, it'll be $300. So you're hired. So that's what I wanted. I told Courtney, it's great, $300. That's what I wanted. I wanted to pay more. Because a low price often gives a low perceived value. I'll say that again. A low price often demonstrates a low perceived value. Some of you guys may be struggling to get people to take you seriously because they're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. That's exactly what I need. This is perfect. This is awesome. And then you're like, that's only going to be $29. And they're like, really? Huh. It must not be that good. Or maybe it's not going to have everything in it that I really thought it was going to be. I knew what I needed. I knew what I wanted. I knew what it was going to take. I knew the amount of work that was going to have to go into what I'm going to demand of this photographer for that day. And if she would have come back at me and said, that's going to be $75, I'd have been like, no, I'm going to find someone who's going to charge what they're worth. I wouldn't have hired her. I would have happily paid her $300 what I would have not paid her $75. I would have not paid her $75. Low price point often represents low perceived value. Okay. Just like that. Swinging some punches, throwing some coffee at you, throwing some shoes. Sherry's got 41 points, and she's going to raise her prices on Seeker's Method because she needs to, because it's the most amazing program for weight loss I've ever seen in my life. And it's crazy. Y'all are awesome. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope that was good for you today. That's probably the best broadcast I have ever done on the topic of pricing. So hopefully that changed your world today, guys. Have an amazing day. I appreciate you. My mission today is to serve you well. If you got someone in your world that you think needs to listen to this, please feel free to tag them or share it or get it out to whoever you need to get it out to. Y'all are amazing, and I love you. Have a beautiful day. Be intentional with your time. Be intentional with your talent. Be a good steward of everything that the Lord has already given you. Get about your day, and I'll see you guys all around the web, right? Take care. God bless y'all. I'll see y'all later.